kids, it's Mr. Michael here with another Bible class video. We're on lesson number 8 and it's called Saul Chases David. Now Miss Allie did the video for you the other day and she told you guys the story of how one night when Saul and his men were asleep, David snuck right into the middle of Saul's camp. And so, as he was standing there looking down at Saul asleep on the ground, the guy that was with David tried to convince him to kill Saul right then and there. But David was humble and he respected Saul. He wasn't selfish. He didn't try to make himself king before God said it was time. So Miss Allie's video focused on telling the story, and I'm here today to talk about what we can learn from the story and how we can let that change the way that we treat others. First, let's check out the word wall and see if we have a word of the day. Yes, we do have a word. And that word is humility. Another way to say that is to be humble. But what does humility mean? Well, it means thinking about others instead of only thinking about ourselves. Oh, but that's hard sometimes, isn't it? A good verse from the Bible to explain this is Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, treating other people as more important than yourself. Don't look out only for your own interest, but take an interest in others too. Now, isn't that exactly what Jesus did for us? You know, he could have stayed up in heaven, enjoying the golden streets and the angels singing and all those wonderful things, but instead, he chose to come down here to earth and go through everything that he suffered because he knew that we needed a Savior. He wasn't looking out for his own interest. He was looking out for our interests. Jesus is our ultimate example, but let's think about David's choices in our story this week and see how he showed humility and how he was looking out for the interests of others instead of only looking out for himself. Don't you think David wanted to be king? Don't you think he was so excited that day when Samuel anointed him and told him that he was going to be the next king of Israel one day? Oh, I'm sure that's what he wanted. But he understood that it wasn't his turn yet. Saul was still king and David respected that. David had the chance to kill Saul 2 different times we've learned about now. And he could have done that, and it would have been his turn to be king right then and there. But David wasn't selfish. He was thinking about what was in Saul's best interest, and he was thinking about what God wanted, and he was thinking about what was best for the nation of Israel as a whole. There was so much more to consider than just what David wanted. Next, I want to invite you guys to go somewhere very special with me. Do you like to draw pictures? You know, if you just draw a quick little picture, sometimes that's called a doodle. Do you like to doodle? Well, I sure do. And I want to invite you to a place where we can doodle whatever we imagine. Streets, buildings, happy little trees, cars, some more cars, and even people in cars. So what do you say? Do you want to get on the bus and go to this special place? I call it Doodleyville. Here at the school in Doodleyville, I want you to meet my friend Terrence. He's in Mr. Garcia's class. Each day, Mr. Garcia picks a student to be the line leader. Terrence really wanted to be the line leader. He was just sure that today was going to be his day. Instead, Mr. Garcia picked Annie. Terrence was so upset. He wanted to be the line leader, and he couldn't believe that Mr. Garcia picked Annie instead. So he said some mean things to his friends about Annie because he felt so jealous. Then, later on the playground, while everyone was having fun, he realized that Annie was over by herself. No one wanted to play with Annie because they believed the mean things Terrence had said about her. Terrence felt awful. That night, as his daddy was tucking him into bed, he decided he needed to talk to his mommy and daddy about it. He told them everything that had happened. His daddy thought for a minute, then said, "Son, I think we need to have a conversation about the word humility." He went on to explain that humility means thinking of others instead of only thinking about yourself. They talked about how his choices hurt Annie and the rest of the classmates. They read Philippians chapter 2 verses 3 and 4 together. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, treating others as more important than yourself. Don't look out only for your own interest, but also take an interest in others. Terrence went to bed that night knowing exactly what he needed to do. So the next morning, before anyone else was even in the classroom, he found Annie and apologized for his bad attitude and the mean things he had said. Mr. Garcia was so glad to see that they were friends again. Then Terrence promised Mr. Garcia that he would have a good attitude no matter who was chosen to be the line leader. Terrence would be humble and patient as he was waiting for the day when he would get to be the line leader. Thank you guys so much for watching this Bible class video with us today. I hope that this will help to encourage you guys to be humble and to be patient. Don't be selfish. Don't insist on your own way. We can be like David, and we can learn the lessons that will help us ultimately be more like Jesus. All right. You guys have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.